Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We are here for part 41 of our Formula 1 22 My Team Career Mode. We are quickly heading towards the end of the season here. We are now at the halfway point, or just past the halfway point of this season, and we have a lot of work to do if we want to catch up to Sebastian Vettel in this Drivers' Championship. We got off on the right foot in the last race, and we won that race. We almost lost it to Sebastian Vettel in a dramatic last lap at the British Grand Prix. If you guys haven't seen that, be sure to hit the link up top and go check that out before you watch this one. But after that race win, we are 42 points behind Sebastian Vettel. So like I said earlier, we got a lot of work to do. Speaking of which, he puts up the fastest lap so far with the 1:14.2 in this qualifying. We're here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. After Q1, we're in P11. I only put up one flyer this time, so not too worried at the moment. Sebastian Vettel in P5. But coming to Q3, this is Q2 right now, but come Q3, we're going to have a little bit of rain, which may or may not cause some issues in this qualifying session. And of course, we're obviously trying to get on pole position here because we are in Hungary, and as most of you guys know watching this, it's not a good overtaking track. The only real overtaking spot really is going in to turn one. The rest of it, you gotta be a little bit ballsy, and even so, the track's not really wide enough to do anything too ballsy to begin with, so we need to get on pole here. We're currently in P11 after our first flyer in Q2. We're 2/10 up on the previous flyer. Not too worried at the moment because, again, Q3 is where the lap times really count. As long as we can get into the top 10 here, which I think with this lap we will be able to do that. We got Esteban Ocon and Alex Albon in the Williams in P9 and P10. Lando Norris is behind us. He's been having a pretty decent season so far. Lance Stroll with his new team Alpine in P13. Sector 3, we improved by a lot. The first flyer wasn't too well. We improved by almost 5/10 of a second, and that is going to be good enough for P6. We are now going into Q3. Sebastian Vettel looking pretty strong as well. He finishes with a 1:14.2, and then Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen in P1 and P2. Mark is telling us now that it's going to start raining soon, so we got to get this flyer in before that rain starts, because once it starts drizzling, your lap is pretty much shot at that point. You're not going to be able to get enough grip to improve on the previous lap time unless your first lap was horrible to begin with. Sebastian Vettel in P5, George Russell in the Mercedes in P2. We're currently down a few hundredths of a second compared to our previous flyer, but then once we head into the chicane, we are up a 1/10 and a half almost. We purple sector 1, so that is good news. We're obviously trying to get on pole here, at the very least start in front of Sebastian Vettel, because our car is so well developed. I feel like we could overtake pretty much anyone at this track besides Sebastian Vettel, so if we start behind him, it's going to be a little bit of an issue trying to get past him. Carlos Sainz still on provisional pole. Charles Leclerc in P4, Sebastian Vettel in P5, so like I said, starting in front of him is ideal. We got a green at sector 2. We're up a 1/10 and a half through the final corner, and then we are going to cross the line, and it's going to be a P2 for now. We tried to go on another flyer, but the rain started falling, so we weren't able to improve on our lap time, and it is going to be a P2. Sebastian Vettel is going to start in P5, and Carlos Sainz on pole position, so great lap by him. I would say he may have gotten a little bit lucky starting before the rain started coming down. So Sebastian Vettel P5, we're in P2. Let's get into this race. So let's see if we can shorten the gap once again on Sebastian Vettel in this one.
Launch map is good, but we need to learn the gears. So go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and it seems like the other AI are starting to, I guess, awaken, as Carlos Sainz is on pole position. We couldn't beat him out on our last flyer. It kind of started to drizzle a little bit, and then obviously we're going to lose grip there. So we are starting in P2. Sebastian Vettel Might be falling off the wagon here as he's starting in P5 once again. Now, last race he did start in P5, or he qualified P5, but he actually started in P15 due to an engine penalty, it seems like. But I want to see, I'll probably put up on the screen now, what the car development is looking like, because I don't know if it's just the AI waking up, or maybe they are bringing upgrades to this race that is allowing them to kind of close the gap between them and Cyborg Porsche. But we're starting behind Carlos Sainz in front of George Russell, who has another good qualifying. He was in the top 5 last race as well. Charles Leclerc, I think he was just outside in P6 last race. He's in P4. So let's see. Hopefully we can jump Carlos Sainz to start this race. This is probably the most difficult track to overtake on. So the goal here is to try and overtake Carlos Sainz into turn 1. And then just play defense for the rest of the race. Try and keep the lead. Score as many points. I'm assuming that Sebastian Vettel is somehow going to make his way through the field and be right behind me, but we're gonna try and stop him here. Let's get on the grid and let's get this race started. All right, here we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We got 5 red lights and this race is underway here. And we get off the line slowly. No, George Russell's going for the overtake here. He gets it done. Carlos Sainz guarding the inside. We're gonna see, maybe we can sneak back down the inside. Have a little bit of contact in the rear. Carlos Sainz has a little bit of contact with George Russell. That's going to let us try to overtake him here. Going down into turn 2. Got to go tight to the inside here. As George Russell takes the lead of this Grand Prix. We're muscling Carlos Sainz out into the corner. We're still in P2 at the start of this race. Had a little bit of a hiccup, but we are back here. Now we're going to try and make ground on George Russell, who seems to be going a little slow. I don't know if that's him or me, but no overtaking opportunities here as we lock up going into the chicane. Carlos Sainz now trying to go for the move down the inside. I'll leave him a little bit of a racing groove here, but not the greatest overtaking spot. We're going to take the spot back. See if he maybe tries to go around the outside once again. And George Russell still leading this race after 1 lap. But once that DRS gets activated, I feel like everything's going to change here. Going to use the battery. Sebastian Vettel suffers from damage. He must have gotten into an incident on that opening lap. He is in the pits now for another wing replacement. We're just going to dive down the inside of George Russell and take P1. Let's go. We lead this race now. And Sebastian Vettel currently not looking too good, as one of the Red Bulls as well has now joined him in the pits, probably for a wing replacement, and I believe that is Sergio Perez, as Max Verstappen is down in P5. Alright, so we're on lap 17 now. It is time to pit, and we have actually incurred some damage on the car. Our rear diffuser, and I think the floor has a little bit of damage. And honestly, I think that's because I was in time trial mode, so I was really abusing the curbs on the track, and we incurred some damage. So now I kind of got to chill, and Leclerc is slowly etching in on the 4-second lead I created earlier in this race. Sebastian Vettel has already squeezed his way up into P5 somehow. Drops it back down into P6. But we're going to pit this lap. We're going on to the hard tires. There he is, back in P5. Now, Sebastian Vettel pitted on the end of lap 1, so I don't think he's going to be pitting for the next few laps, so he might take the lead of this race for a bit. But let's see here. As we go into the pits, Leclerc is with us. Carlos Sainz is with us. Oscar Piastri is way behind. It's really just me, Leclerc, and Carlos Sainz. Even Sebastian Vettel is a little bit further behind. He's kind of fighting Lance Stroll at the moment. We might actually beat him out of the pit lane. And we're going to retain this P1, it looks like. Or we might just join this fight here for P1. And we are just going to get out in front here and keep the lead of this race. Oh my god, no, man. Are you kidding me? Another issue. What the heck is the issue now, man? Please, no, we're leading this race. Every time we're leading this race with a significant gap, we have some sort of issue. Please don't be a failure, man. Please. And now Oscar Piastri trying to overtake us while we're dealing with this issue. I think it's going to be a DNF. When Mark goes silent like that.
Okay, touch wood, it seems like the
Oh,
fault has resolved itself.
oh my gosh, Mark, yes! Mark clutches up and we stay in this race. Oh man, we really need this. So, okay, yeah, Sebastian Vettel goes back into the pits. He put on another set of mediums, so now he's got to go onto the hard. No way he's going to ride out that pair of medium tires, or that set of medium tires, until the end of this race. Charles Leclerc is right on our rear now. We've lost that big gap that we've created. But once we get these tires warmed up here, we were really just dealing with the damage. I'm pretty sure we can fend them off for the rest of this race, but we will see as this race progresses. Hopefully Sainz gets in there, starts battling with Charles Leclerc. It looks like Carlos Sainz is going to try and get a move done as Leclerc is swerving to the side. I'm trying to get a look at this battle going on back there. Carlos Sainz gets the move done, it looks like, going into turn 1. He's now in the lead. I think he will also have DRS as well down that straight. So he's going to take that P2 spot. And Charles Leclerc drops down to P3. Verstappen currently in P4. Lando Norris at P5. We're going to get a teammate status on Sebastian Vettel. Teammate status.
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 21.3 seconds.
Nice.
Okay, they're on fresh hards. They're currently 6th. And the time last
So
lap
he's just outside.
16.8.
He's 21 seconds behind, so still have a lot of leeway to get this win here and let Sebastian Vettel minimize the amount of points that he gets. So he's with Verstappen and Lando, I think. I will presume that by the end of this race, he will be probably in the top 4. I think he'll get past Lando and Leclerc, or Lando and Verstappen pretty easily. And then once he gets into the top 4, he might etch in on Charles Leclerc. But we got Carlos Sainz. I've been talking too much. And Carlos Sainz trying to get the move done. He's trying to take back his P1 spot. He's going to have DRS once again, but we got that inside line going down into turn 2. He's trying to go around the outside here, but I'm not going to let that happen. And we keep that spot. Let's go. Good defense here in Hungary. So we're heading out to the final lap. Carlos Sainz has been basically on our gearbox for the last like 10 laps. We haven't been able to shake him, partially due to that rear diffuser and floor damage that we have, but we have managed to keep him within a 5 to 2/10 gap, and we are on the final lap now. Sebastian Vettel has made it up into P4. He passed Lando Norris, and then Verstappen passed Lando Norris as well, so he's still fast. He just had some unfortunate things happen to him in this race, but we are going to take full advantage of that here. We're going to score almost maximum points. He does have the fastest lap as well. So we're just trying to shake off Carlos Sainz here, who is now a 10th and a half, or just was a 10th and a half behind us. So we're going to get 25 points here. I believe Sebastian Vettel will get 13. I believe it's 12 for P4. And then +1 for the fastest lap here. And it looks like we are also approaching someone to overlap. That looks like one of the Williams, probably Nicholas Latifi. We're not going to overlap him, it looks like. But we are fairly close. Carlos Sainz still behind us. Charles Leclerc was behind Carlos Sainz, or in front of Carlos Sainz for a while. And then Carlos Sainz overtook him, took P2. But we are coming through the final quarter here. We're going to cross the line. We're going to take the win of this race. Let's go. That's back-to-back wins for me. And for Cyborg Porsche, it's like 5 in a row. Or no, not what am I talking about? It's like 8 in a row now for Cyborg Porsche. We have not lost a race this season, which is great. I think this is the first time as well that Sebastian Vettel has not finished on the podium. He comes in P4. Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc join me on the podium. And Sebastian Vettel put up the fastest lap with a 1:16.0. For reference, the next fastest lap was a 1:16.8. And then most other people were around the 1:17.3s. So I don't know how the hell Sebastian Vettel put up a lap that quick. And that was honestly pretty early on in the race when the fuel load was very high. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He had some issues on the opening lap. Comes in P4. So we now cut that lead down to just 30 points, which is a few race wins, assuming that Sebastian Vettel comes in P2. So it definitely is doable. We obviously just have to win the rest of the races. Not the rest of them, but most of them. Hopefully Sebastian Vettel has some car troubles later on because, you know, if he has car troubles, he's not going to score any points. And then presumably I would win the race, and that would be a 26-point increase to get us back to par with Sebastian Vettel. And then we also have to sign Sebastian Vettel to a new contract here. We're obviously not going to let him go for the sake of the Constructors' Championship, obviously, and the fact that we are in a one-on-one duel for the Drivers' Championship. We're not checking out of a fight, but that is going to be it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed it and you watched up to this point, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We got the Belgium Grand Prix up next. I'm looking forward to that one. I always love racing at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. If you guys looking forward to that, be sure to hit the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, guys.